When it comes to breastfeeding successfully, confidence is the key. Unfortunately, it's not easy to come by. Confidence rarely comes easily to new mothers because the early days of motherhood are commonly filled with self doubt. A mother's mind is filled with questions, concerns, fears, worries, and actually believing that I can do this is a tough task. Some mothers at this stage tend to believe that they are doing everything wrong and take on unnecessary stress. Their mind is plagued with the thought that their baby is not getting enough milk. This starts a vicious cycle. Excessive worrying that you aren't producing enough milk can actually lead to a low milk supply, leaving you with even more to worry about. It can take a while before you finally feel that you are doing a good job, which you were doing anyway from day one. As a new mother, I'm sure you already have enough to worry, and the last thing you need is more stress for the wrong reasons. So, in this video, I'll talk about how confidence plays a key role in successful breastfeeding and how mothers can shed their initial fears and doubts. One of the easiest ways to feel confident is to believe strongly that you're breastfeeding correctly. More often than not, self doubt tends to pull mothers down and create stress. So, let me advise you on how you can ease your stress levels and feel confident about yourself as a breastfeeding mother. Firstly, feed as often as your baby demands for feeds. Remember, breast milk is all about supply and demand. Your body will generate more if it's aware that your baby wants more. More suckling in the right technique produces more milk. Typically, during growth spurts or on the nights of cluster feeds, mothers tend to believe that they are not producing enough milk to feed their babies. Do not get worried. Growth spurts are normal, and cluster feeding is simply a part of your breastfeeding journey. Neither of these things indicate a lack of supply. Next, stay informed. There are lots and lots of breastfeeding myths out there, and it's very easy to end up with a head filled with misinformation and old wives' tales, especially on Google. Make sure to get your breastfeeding information from your doctor rather than your relatives. And that is also the whole purpose of this series. In this process of self doubt, do not make the mistake of supplementing with formula milk. This can indirectly affect your breast milk supply. There are times when supplementation may be medically advised, but always question whether it is really necessary. Many mothers realize that after offering bottles of formula, baby becomes disinterested in the breast. So try to avoid formula feeding as much as possible in all situations. All you need to do is to understand and recognize your baby's hunger cues and act on it. Please watch the video on recognizing hunger cues to learn how to understand when your baby is hungry and offer the breast at the right time. This will give you a lot of confidence in breastfeeding. Next, banish the naysayers and the negative views. As a new mother, you might be feeling a little more sensitive than usual, perhaps even a bit vulnerable and emotional. One sure way to damage your confidence is to invite a load of insensitive people around to criticize your breastfeeding. You don't need to listen to people doubting your milk supply, making comments about how often your baby feeds, or telling you to give that baby a bottle. You don't need it now, not ever. On the contrary, one of the best ways to increase your confidence is to surround yourself with people who are positive and encouraging. Surround yourself with people who support breastfeeding. Don't doubt you as a mother and offer you help when you need it. It is sometimes helpful to get in touch with other new mom friends who are on the same successful breastfeeding journey as you. And finally, the best support to have is your partner's support. Your partner's understanding and support in breastfeeding will go a long way. Your body is pretty amazing, isn't it? After all, it's your body that made this beautiful baby. And it's so amazing that it can produce food and nutrients to nourish your baby for the first year and longer. Trust your body, trust yourself, and trust Mother Nature to help your baby grow big and strong. You can do this. After all, you created those 10 perfect toes, that adorable dimples, and those big, beautiful eyes. Every time you feed your baby breast milk, you're doing something wonderful. Give yourself credit for each and every feed. It's easy to get bogged down with worries and obsess over the feeds that weren't quite right. Instead, what you should be doing is celebrating breastfeeding. Your milk contains nutrients, antibodies, and living cells that nourish your baby whilst providing an invaluable boost to your baby's immune system. Irrespective for how long you continue to breastfeed or how many feeds you are able to manage, celebrate the goodness that you are able to provide your baby. Celebrating your success can help to build your confidence. Your milk and your efforts providing it is definitely worth it.